With a new console generation on the horizon, a lot of talk about specifications are being had. Even pictures of dev kits are circulating right now, with people wondering if they will look like that. Spoilers, they won't. Anyway, let me tell you something. Who cares about the specs or power of a system? You shouldn't, because what good is a console specs if there's nought to play on it? Take the Stadia for example, the ability to stream games at 8K from anywhere at 60 FPS. And what do you have to play? 3 Tomb Raider games that are half a decade old and 1 exclusive that gets middling reviews? The most important part of a games console is its launch lineup. With an event as important as the launch of a new hardware, you'd think the manufacturers would catch on to the idea that having good games will help shift systems. So let's spend a few minutes to talk about some launch lineups, shall we? We'll be using the UK launch lineup because I said so. So, SNES, we got Chessmaster, Draken, Hyperzone, Populous, and that's it. Thanks Nintendo, 4 games, wow. Whee! Look at all these SNES games that we never got. I can't be that mad as the Mega Drive was no better with only another 4 games and one of them was super highlighted. Let's skip ahead a couple generations. GameCube time. FIFA, good job there, no complaints. Luigi's Mansion was polarizing at the time, but now we have an actual Mario game on the system. We can be kinder to it and agree it's great. Burnout, great, and this is weird. Sonic Adventure 2 and Crazy Taxi. Super Monkey Ball, that's a Sega game too. What was the Dreamcast library lineup like? So, the Dreamcast had Blue Stinger, an underrated horror game. Hydro Thunder Baby. Sonic Adventure is trash, but at least they managed to get a mascot game out at the time of the release. Soul Calibur, people tell me Power Stone is good, it's not. Hey, what's this? Pen Tricelion. Fucking tricked! Fucking tricked you lot, lads. Merry Christmas, motherfuckers. We're going to talk about the best arcade racing game of the 6th generation that starred penguins or penguin-like animals. Welcome to Pen Tricelion. One of the first 4 Dreamcast games to be released of the Holy Trinity. You got the Father, you got the Son, you got the Holy Spirit, but then there's Pen Tricelion that surpasses all of them. Which isn't that hard because you have a bad Godzilla game, which is saying something given the Big G's track record. July, which is a horror visual novel, which in objective fairness is not really pushing the Dreamcast to its limits. Virtua Fighter, come on now. So, Pen is the only one that I think is appealing. I mean, look at these guys. Look how appealing they are. So, Pen Tricelion was developed by Landho and General Entertainment, who also made this. Killer name, by the way. What kind of entertainment do you make? Oh, you know, the general kind. We also do catering. Acceptable catering. The game is a racing game where you take control of these appealing characters and set out on courses with their own themes, although all the tracks have a winter theme, making them all have some continuity with one another. The closest way I can explain the game is imagine a cross between the one Wario Mountain course and Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transform trademark starring Danica Patrick. Which on paper is a great combination. That level's great and really fun, and SART is better than it has any right to be. Before you can even begin to race, the game throws its first challenge at you picking a character. In case you skip the fever dream that was this game's intro that introduces all the characters, you might be confused as to what exactly you're looking at. Well, these are your pens. What's a pen? I don't know, but here are some right here. Each pen is a cross between a real-life animal and, well, a pen. So you got a hippo, you got a shark, so you got a walrus, you got a dogs, and you got a penguins, I guess? Each one has its own strengths and weaknesses, but you won't know what they are, as the game doesn't tell you. You have to bust out the manual and make a choice from there. When you pick a character you're fond of, or just one you can stand more than the rest, you could give them an accessory, like rabbit ears, jetpacks, crash helms, top hats, and guns. You unlock these items regularly by completing races, and as far as I can tell, they are cosmetic only. The character I usually pick is Tina because she is so hot that I think she melts the ice beneath her to make her go fast. I also don't understand what it is with Sega and having really attractive animal creatures with hearts on their tits. Now let's pick a stage, shall we? There are only 4 courses in the entire game, and that is a pretty low number indeed. In order to counteract this, and make the game seem like it has more content, each stage is broken up into sections and different races. You have to unlock each section by completing others, so you can't skip to the complete course. So be prepared to be playing the same section of a track a couple times before you unlock the whole thing. There are only 4 courses, as I have said, and they each have their own themes. There's a sweets theme level, a toy theme level, a horror stage, and a happy black person stage. All the stages have their own obstacles that the players have to contend with, from little snowmen on the track that will slow you down if you run into them, to big stupid carousel rooms that I think are designed so no player gets a large lead. But if you're super awesome at the game, such as myself, you have mastered the ability to thread the needle and skip the section. I guess there is one more type of obstacle I can talk about, and that is the unlockable character Hanimazu. Yes, Hanimazu, which means runny nose in Moon, he is a top tier racer in this game with max stats in every field and the ability to boost at random times. A character so overpowered, even playing as him is ill-advised as he is too hard to control. The AI does not have these same limits as a man, and is able to speed by you. And if you're unlucky, he will turn his rage towards you, and for no reason kill your speedrun attempt.
Look at Hanimazu go! Did you see him? He turned around and hit me!
When you start a race, you and all the other Island of Dr. Monroe rejects will jettison out onto the ice. To accelerate, you have to rhythmically tap the A button to move your arms and slide on the ice. If you mash it, you won't be going anywhere fast. There's no brakes, so you need to think about when you need to slow down and tap at the right time during corners so you can turn properly. In case you haven't realised, there is snow everywhere and that can make the track slippery, so be careful when racing. Races don't have any power-ups like in Mario Kart, so you can't take down any races yet. There are little boost rings that are strewn throughout that give you a short increase in speed, but apart from that, focusing on your tapping and considering when the best time is to turn will hold your attention as you race. After you have slid on your belly for long enough, the track will change terrain, and this is another interesting quirk of this game. Like Sonic and Stegosaurus, the track will change and you will need to use the controls differently. When in the water, you are again able to use the A button to control your speed, but now you're able to swim all around the screen. The final terrain type is the walking section. Well, if you can call this walking, it's the closest approximation I can think of. This whole game is like a short timeline of a creature's evolution, with it starting in the ocean, crawling up on land, and then finally running to oblivion. Here you'll be holding the control stick forward to move and be using the A button to jump and do some tricky platforming. But with the rise onto your hind legs, your brain has grown, and you're able to use one more button, the B button. This allows you to tackle other racers. If you smash into them, they get knocked to the side and stunned for a brief moment. If you hit, it also resets the cooldown on the tackle, meaning you could potentially domino effect your way from player to player. But if you miss, you'll be stunned and it will take a second for you to get back to running. As an advanced technique, you could also dash into boost rings to mitigate the stun you would get if you missed. Another thing I found really weird is in the Japanese version of this game, there are all these weird loading screens with English sentences that don't really make sense, like this one. Attention, it is the possibility that it is harmful when a human being cats. I guess that's eats. Well, there's another one. His name is Kraken. He is sleeping whenever I go to see him. He has heavy eyes and all day because he's on the ground for long time. Now, racing alone can only be interesting for so long, so go and trick as many friends as you can find and subject them to some pen. As the Dreamcast could have 4 controllers at once, up to 4 people can play. How convenient! There are unfortunately a few problems with multiplayer, in that the game just can't handle it. When the races are right next to each other, the game can slow to a crawl, making it difficult to control a game that is already difficult to control. Also, for some reason, the game only lets one person finish the race, so if the person in first crosses the finish line, it just ends the race and everyone in their current positions is ranked, with the last person being ranked booby for some reason. I mean, I understand the sentiment, I'm a hardcore gamer myself, and anything less than first place is unacceptable, so why bother letting anyone else finish the race? Still, the pure madness and unconventional nature of this game makes playing it for short bursts with people fun nonetheless, and because there's only 4 courses, you can blast through all the game has to offer in about an hour. But that is the main problem in single player, that after you've beaten all 4 races, what else is there? Keep grinding races to get all the accessories, I guess, or getting gold medals in all races so you can unlock the hidden character? Something which the game tries to extend by making you do all courses and all sections twice in order to get the gold medal. You can be absolutely destroying a race and win, but if it's the first time that you did that race, it's a silver medal for you. This lack of content is the greatest flaw, as similar arcadey racing games, even those from the previous generation, had way more content, with some having hub worlds to explore, or a story mode to engage with. Maybe if PenPen got a second chance it could iron out these issues, but unfortunately PenPen has been forgotten, and on the Dreamcast no less, so being a dead franchise for a dead console is like 2 railroad spikes into a franchise's coffin. But if you have a Dreamcast, or some other way to play Dreamcast games, I recommend that in between matches of Power Stone and Choo Choo Rocket, you chuck in PenPen and be like, yep, that sure was a thing, wasn't it?